Greetings, everyone. My name is Stephanie Elwood with our SNAP Ed program at Southern University Ag Center. I'm the Growing Healthy Coordinator. I work with community gardens, school gardens, senior centers, Head Starts. And today I'm going to talk to you all about how to care for your fruit trees. So I'm going to give you 3 different tips on how to care for your fruit trees. There are a couple specific things that you need to understand. The first thing is that fruit trees are grafted. That means that they have created a cut on a top piece and a cut on a bottom piece. The bottom piece is called the rootstock, and that's a really, really strong plant that produces really thorny vines and really just not very good fruit. So we take the strong bottom part and we take our desirable fruit called a scion and we graft it on top. So the scion is going to be your satsumas, your sweet lemons, your oranges. So the fruit that we want to eat, but those plants are kind of sensitive. So we graft it onto a very sturdy rootstock. Once it's grafted, you'll be able to see on the stem a slight change in the stem where it is grafted. Now, what you want to do is make sure that the rootstock never grows from the bottom of the plant. If you start to see a sprout come out of the bottom of your plant, you need to immediately clip it, because if you don't, it's going to start to grow thorns and it's going to start to make that sour, undesirable fruit. So we want to make sure that good maintenance of your fruit tree is making sure to clip any of the rootstock that comes below your graft on your fruit tree. Okay, so that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, let's say you have your fruit tree and it's really overgrowing the space that you have it in. Whenever you want to prune your fruit tree back, you need to make sure not to give it a haircut. That's what you don't want to do. If you have a limb that's too long, you want to cut that limb all the way back to the main stem and get that out the way. That's how you appropriately prune your fruit tree. And last but not least, we have tip number 3. Whenever you want to have good production, you want to have a lot of fruit come off of your fruit tree, you need to make sure to fertilize it, and you need to make sure to fertilize it on time. So fertilizing your fruit trees, the best time to do that is in February. So when it's February, you go out to your fruit trees, you get a fruit tree fertilizer stake. You might need 1, you might need 2 or 3, depending on the age of your fruit tree. And you look at the drip line. So the drip line is where your branch comes out. Right there is where you're going to dig a hole in the ground, just a crack in the earth. You put your fruit tree fertilizer stake and you cover it up. That's going to fertilize your tree for the whole year and make sure that you get as much yield and of produce from that tree as possible. So that's your 3 tips today for how to care for your fruit tree. Number 1, don't let the rootstock grow from the bottom of the tree. Number 2, how to prune your fruit tree appropriately. And number 3, how and when to fertilize your fruit tree. So fruit trees that do well in Louisiana are satsumas, all of your citrus, satsumas, lemons, oranges, kumquats, limes sometimes don't do as well in northern Louisiana. Citrus sometimes doesn't do as well in northern Louisiana, but other fruit trees that do well, plums, pears, persimmons, and of course we have blackberry bushes, blueberry bushes. So Louisiana is a great place to grow your fruit trees. Just make sure you're following those 3 tips to have a successful harvest. Thank you for tuning in on today. For more information, go to our website, www.suagcenter.com, and please make sure to fill out the post survey here on the Facebook page. Thank you. Happy planting.